Hey guys, what's going on? It's Cody Steck. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're talking to Mickey Russo, who is a top producing agent and just moved his license over here to Real. We're going to learn a little bit more about his story, his background, and what he's doing in real estate and why he's so excited about this company and being a part of the culture that we have here. So Mickey, welcome to this video. I'm really excited to hear your story and learn a little bit more about, why you made that move and what you're going to do.
Yeah, man. I've been in real estate for about 8 years.
Okay.
And I just recently moved to Southwest Florida. I've been licensed down here for about 2 years. And, I didn't know what brokerage to join initially. So I just joined I wouldn't quite call it a boutique brokerage, but, because they have like 700 plus agents, but it was where I could, keep 100% of my commissions and, just kind of get my feet wet down here. What excites me about Real the most and why I just made the decision to jump over is longevity. I've been in real estate for 8 years, and as far as just what I've been able to do on my own, buying stocks, building equity in houses I've flipped, etc., I don't have any type of I don't know what you want to call it. I don't own any shares in any companies. I don't have any type of anything that's building up over time, again, outside of just what I'm doing personally. So that's what I loved about Real. They offer stocks that you can earn just by doing what we normally do, so with Real being, I guess you could call it a younger company, I just know, and with everything that they offer, that over time, the price of those stocks are going to go up. So as I'm producing and just doing what I normally do, over time, the value of those shares that I'll earn are going to just go up. So, in 10, 20 years, when I get ready to stop being a realtor, I'll have something to show for it on that side of things. So,
yeah, absolutely, man. I'm kind of in the same boat. That was the thing that I looked at was, the cool thing is you get personal ownership in the company just for selling real estate, like you're already doing. I've been with the company for just over a year now. And in the last year, I think I've accumulated somewhere around 6,000 shares of the company just for free, just for selling real estate and being a part of their stock option program. So yes, I did buy some as part of that, but now I've also accumulated additional shares just for being in there, and it's continuing to grow. So that's the cool thing about Real Broker is you're going to get that's just going to stack up year after year after year, and it's kind of like free money. Obviously the goal is that the company grows and grows into this big thing, and the share price goes up along with that. So that's really cool, man. So tell me a little bit about kind of your background. You said you've been in for 8 years. What type of real estate are you selling? You made the move to Southwest Florida. I want to hear more about that. Why you got out of your previous state. Tell us about that.
All right. Yeah. So, I'm married. I have 3 kids, and my wife and I just celebrated 10-year anniversary in November.
Nice.
And so we've been married, a decade. And in Indiana, where we're from, it gets cold in the winter and the skies get gray and there's not a lot going on during the winter. And her and I, when we first got married, we spent some time traveling and went to places where it wasn't like that. And so every year during the winter, we just were like, we have got to get the heck out of here. It's freezing, it's gray, it's miserable. Like, what do we got to do to get out of here? So, doing real estate and with how I've always conducted myself in business, I've been able to do things remotely, and I've never actually had a brick and mortar location. And I've always just met clients either at the house, and very rarely, if I needed to meet somebody outside of a home, I would just meet them at a coffee shop. So I never had a need for a brick and mortar location. So I kind of learned how to operate that way pre-COVID, that's just how I operated. And so, it was December of 2019. My wife came to me. She owns a little smoothie camper where she sells smoothies at farmers markets and stuff.
Cool.
And we had visited Southwest Florida a couple years prior to buy a schoolie, which is like a bus they converted to an RV. And so we flew into the Southwest Florida airport and met the guy with the bus and gave him the check and drove out of there with the bus. So we got a taste of that climate in that area. And so my wife got to thinking where could I sell smoothies year round, So she started applying to farmers markets in Southwest Florida. And she came to me December 2019 and was like, babe, I got accepted into a couple of farmers markets. Do you want to move down there? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So literally that day we made a plan, and we were like, this is what we're going to do to make it happen. And the stars aligned and we were able to make it happen and make the move. And literally 4 weeks later, we found ourselves living down here. We bought a house in Bonita Springs, about a mile and a half from the beach, in a little beach bungalow with her and our 2 kids at the time. And that's kind of how we made the move down here. So
dang, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. And well, because I had learned how to do business kind of remotely, just that's how I operated. I had other agents on my team, in Indiana. And so I was able to transition and learn how to delegate and have them kind of take over the stuff I couldn't do because I wasn't there. But it just, I figured it out. I adapted and made it work. And then obviously getting licensed down there, I started doing transactions down there as well. So yeah, just it's been about 2 years since we've been down here, and so far so good. So
that's awesome, man. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I hear you on like cold weather, snow, gray skies. I mean, I'm in Salt Lake City, and my wife and I have been talking about every single winter comes around, we're like, man, we got to get out of here. We got to go south.
Come on.
We thought about Florida, but it's a little far. We're like, oh, all our family's here, so we're like, oh, we need to stay somewhat close. So, but we're thinking, south, southern Utah, or we've thought about Vegas, Phoenix, thought about California for a second, but no, not going to happen. So, anyway, I mean, I hear you. So on that transition from, moving from Indiana to Southwest Florida, you said it was December of 2019. So that was right before COVID hit. Yep. How did your business change? I mean, it sounds like you were really already doing stuff remote. So tapping into the remote and virtual world of Real Broker, which is, everything's kind of online. There's no brick and mortar office or anything like that. It's all virtual and online. How has that transition been so far? I mean, I know it's only been a little while so far, but what is that, are you expecting any hurdles with that, or how is your business going to change?
Yeah, great question. Look, I am a man of simplicity and minimalism, and I like to, just get the meat on the essentials, and I feel that's what Real offers. Again, that's how I've always operated. Just kind of like, give me what I need to be successful, and I feel that Real offers that. And so far, my experience with Real getting onboarded, it was so smooth. I think it was a 1-page simple application. I just filled in some basic information, and from there there was instructions on what to do next. Download the app, and then after you download the app, you start filling in your, I think it even pulls your profile info over from that initial 1-page application. So you do that, you log in, and then you get you set up so that you can get paid your commissions right away. That was super simple and seamless. And smooth. Also, just, I don't know, I'm used to it. So for me, it just was like, wow, this is a very easy, simple setup. And I'm still waiting to get set up on Chime, but I'm excited to dig into that, which is a CRM, that we can utilize. And I think they give you a website too. So I mean, just as far as like, just in the short time that I made the decision, I feel like I have what I need to really just tell other agents about the opportunity, but also just be successful with marketing myself and putting myself out there. So I mean, ordering signs, I know it's going to be simple. They have everything is set up. I mean, it's not difficult. And the cool thing about guys like you and I, for people that might be hesitant to want to jump in and are nervous because of the technological side of things, like I personally more than happy to help anybody that needs direction and guidance and all that. So, but I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just been through it, so you kind of have a fresh take on it. And that was one thing that I remember when I joined. We were a brand. I joined right as our state opened, right as they got licensed in our state. And the transition was as smooth. I've been with, I think, 5 or 6 different brokerages over the years. I've been in business for 7 years, for almost as long as you. And, being with all those brokerages, every time I made a switch, it was like this big ordeal. And coming to Real, that was the one thing they had figured out. I don't know how they, what they're doing right, but it's working. You like you said, you submit the application, they send you a couple emails with instructions, and like, you're in. It's like it's a pretty simple process, considering moving your license is generally a pretty big ordeal. You had said that you were with a let's call it like an indie brokerage before. It was fairly big. You said roughly 700 agents, but it was basically a flat fee brokerage where you just paid a transaction fee per deal. Is that right?
Yeah, and a monthly fee.
Okay, so it was pretty cheap though, from what it sounds like. Now, what was did you have any hesitations coming to Real because of like the split or the cap potentially being higher than what you were paying at your previous brokerage?
Yeah, great question. It's interesting that you asked that, because I knew the broker, personally, and he called me on Monday and I did the application on Friday, and he saw by Monday my license had been transferred. So the real engine behind the whatever, had automatically kind of kicked in and did that. And I was planning on, talking with him about it, but he called me. He's like, "Hey man, I was just checking the roster and I saw that you weren't on the roster anymore." He's like, "What's going on?" And so I had to answer him just kind of like I'm about to answer, the question you asked. And I said, he was like, "Look, man, you're going to pay more money. You're going to, financially, it's just not a good decision for you." He's obviously wants me to stay with his company. So he's trying to do everything he can to retain me.
Yep.
And I said, "Look, man," I said, "Phil," I said, and this is the other part of Real that, I'm sure we'll get into, but that I really like. I said, because he's got 700 agents on his team. I said, "Phil," that's his name. I said, I don't want to just be a realtor. I said, I want to be like you. I want to have a huge organization. I don't want to just be a realtor my whole career. I want to build an organization." And that's the other side of Real that he couldn't offer me, where I can attract agents who want to work with me. Because here's the thing that my intention with Real is I've been in the business long enough that I feel I have something to offer, and there's something to say about experience. And I want to be able to pour into people. I want to be able to coach people and help people be successful as realtors. But also with Real, we can help them build something, like I said in the beginning, that's going to help them have longevity, where when they get to the point where they're done working, they're going to have a lot of stocks. But not only that, let's get into how we can grow and build an organization together and be successful together. And that's something that his brokerage wasn't offering me. Sure, the fees were low. Sure, the transaction fees were low. And sure, I would have, kept more on the long run, but he did not offer me an incentive to grow an organization, which that might not be for everybody, but for somebody like me who's ambitious and who's hungry and who really wants to grow financially, but also have an organization of people that I feel that I've personally helped be successful in real estate, Real gives me that. And so if that costs me a little bit on the front end to achieve that, I'm okay with that. And the other cool thing about Real is because of those incentives they offer with the stocks and everything else, if you are producing, they pay you back. Like I think Real has something called Elite Agent, which maybe we'll get into that. But Elite Agent is where you cap, right? And you're only paying $12,000, which is like the lowest I've heard of compared to some of the other brokerages I've looked at. Mm-hmm. And then once you pay like $6,000 into transaction fees, I think that's what considers you an elite agent. Once you hit those benchmarks, they gift you or reward you or bonus you back like so much stock, which I think is even more than what you end up paying. So it balances out if you're really serious about being successful. And I'm really serious about helping people be successful. So in my mind, I don't let the fact that I might not be making as much on the front end hold me back from pursuing what I really want, which is to build a successful organization and pour into people and do that over the course of the next coming decades of my life. Because I'm only 32 and I don't plan on stopping until I'm 80. So let's go,
That's just kind of, that's a long runway. I mean, I love it, man. One thing that stuck out that you said is that, you don't want to be selling real estate forever. And that's something that I realized after about 6 months of getting my license. I was like, hey, this is awesome. I can make really good money and I really enjoy this, but I don't feel like selling real estate until I'm 80 is my whole life's mission. I want to expand outside of that. And the reality of our world is that, you need money and income and to some extent, I think, kind of some influence and whatnot to live your best life possible. And that comes from diversification. So even though you're going to be potentially paying a little bit more here at Real Broker, you are setting yourself up in a position where you can get shares of the company, you can participate in the revenue share program, really build out that organization and help other people be successful. And that's going to come back on you, right? You help them and their success ultimately benefits you. So that's one thing that I really love about that. And ironically, I mean, man, probably 90% of agents that I talk to say the same exact thing. They're like, if I could never stick another sign in the yard, I'd be happy, like, especially a lot of older agents, they've been selling for 15, 20, 30 years and they're just kind of burnt out. It's a grueling business and it can wear on you, after so many years.
Just on that note, real quick. I was at an open house over the weekend. And, in my neighborhood where I live, because we're always looking to see what's going on. Yeah. And we go in here, I go in there, I have a little golf cart, we ride around our neighborhood.
Nice.
Yeah, with my family, my wife and my kids. So we just drive to all the open houses on like Saturday and Sunday if we don't have anything else going on.
Yeah.
So we go into this open house, and it's a great house, and the market down here is appreciated like insane. But anyways, we go in and we look around, and I know the song and dance. I know they got the sign-in sheet, and they got there's actually a lender there, co-branding, co-marketing with the realtor holding the open house. And so the realtor was like, she didn't know I was a realtor because I was in flip-flops and the tank top, she had no idea.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, could you please sign in? So I just, whatever, I signed the thing. And then the mortgage broker, who had to have been definitely in his 60s, if not older. And I just looked at this guy, not to be judgmental, but I just looked at this guy and I could just see the bags under his eyes, and I could just see him hand me his card, and he did not want to be there. He did not want to, but there he was still doing open houses in his 60s, maybe 70s. And I just looked at that and I said, I do not want that to be me. When I'm that dude's age, I want to be, I want to be not retired, but I want to be doing, I don't know.
You don't want to be doing an open house.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm with you. That's one thing I look at, even, like probably our parents' generation. And it's just like a lot of them are still working, and, retirement is like this golden thing that's out in the future. And, it never seems to come soon enough. But that's one thing that I want to do for me. And, it sounds like for you as well. It's just set up your life so you can live your best life now and then have absolute freedom later on. One other thing that you mentioned, was that you'd mentioned, your previous broker, Phil, was not able to offer you what Real Broker offers. And I see this all the time. Before I joined the company, I was thinking, maybe I should just go out and be my own broker, right? Start my own business, be my own broker. And then, I'm going to have some fees I'm going to have to pay for, SkySlope or Dot Loop or these, my CRM or whatever. I'm going to have to pay for these things myself, but I'm going to be in a position where I can take literally 100% of the commission. And then I just have some increased fees and I can do my own thing. Right. And I looked at the model and I thought, yeah, that'd be great. But the downside is that you have a cap on how much you can earn based on how many houses you sell. Right. And so the thing that I love about Real Broker is you can sell houses, and it's going to cost you some extra money, right? $12,000 for a cap. And then you're going to pay a transaction fee after that, which ultimately gets very low. So if you're a top producer, it's very minimal in my opinion. And, but you've got the option to earn, immense amounts of money through these other programs, the revenue share program and the stock options. And like you said, with the elite agent program, I actually just hit that like maybe 2 or 3 closings ago. And so I'll get awarded those shares at the end of the month. Let's see, we're coming up on February. So I'll get them in March. And, that's going to be $16,000 worth of shares. And then an additional 8,000 if you hit the cultural benchmark, which is basically just giving back inside the community and educating others and helping them be successful as well. So, that's $24,000 worth of shares, basically for just selling real estate. Right. So it's pretty amazing. The opportunities that you have. No other brokerage. Sorry about that. Camera reset. Okay. No other brokerage can offer you that. And you can't offer that yourself. Right. Like it's just not possible to, like, if you're your own broker, to offer that yourself, unless you want to be the next Real, which is not very likely. Right. Maybe not the most realistic thing for most people, 99% of people. So what are your thoughts on all that?
I just think the main thing that I want whoever listens to this to know is that, this isn't like a get rich quick scheme. This isn't like something that I'm looking to like make $1 million like overnight. Like this is something where I want to spend my time, helping people get to the point where they are elite agents and they are getting those stocks and those shares, and I want to hold people's hand or whatever it takes, to like, because just that's what kind of was coming up for me as you were talking. It's like I don't want people to listen to this and watch this and be like, oh, I can hop in and get all these, it's just going to happen for me. Like it's going to take work, like you said, and freedom ain't free. You got to put some sweat equity in there, but do it somewhere where you are it's not just for you, it's for everybody else that's involved with what you're doing. Like I was just thinking, I had a picture in my head the other day. It's like I'm in a canoe with one paddle by myself, if I'm doing what you were just talking about. Like I start my own brokerage and I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. And if I want to build my own organization through my own company, I mean, I've tried that, and it's doable, but it's not easy, Yeah. And plugging into Real, you can do the same thing essentially, and not have to worry about going public, having a publicly traded company. If you even wanted to take it that far, like you said, probably 99.99% of people won't get to that point. But even if you never did and you still wanted to go, I mean, it's just a matter of, like I said in the beginning, for me, I like to boil things down to what's essential, what's minimal, what can I tap into that's going to allow me to leverage my strengths and also help other people leverage their strengths, and then grow over time and look back and say, wow, look what we did, and Real is just a vehicle to do that. And I think it's a great vehicle to do that. I really do, for a lot of different reasons we've already discussed. But the main things that were popping up for me were on what you just said were, I don't want the audience, whoever's going to listen to this, to think, oh, this is something that I'm just going to jump in and just have a lot of success real quick. I mean, maybe you will, but I'm just saying, like, for me, I want people that like see the vision, the long-term vision, and they want to link arms side by side, and let's get there together, whatever it takes. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love it. I mean, that's exactly what I see. It's a long game. It's not something, I mean, we don't need to go into the specifics of it necessarily, but like it does take a couple of years to build it up and to get all those shares to vest and become valuable for you. But if you stick with it for 3, 4, 5 years, I mean, this company's it's going to continue growing. It's already doubled its agent count. We just hit 4,000 agents, and we were at 2,000 agents in April of last year. So that's roughly 10 months. And just doubled agent count. So long way to go. I mean, 4,000 agents is extremely small, especially compared to some of the big brokerages like Century 21, Remax, KW, EXP. These companies are all much bigger than where Real's at, but Real is coming up really quick, and it's just going to continue to grow, on an exponential level. So I think that's a really exciting thing about it.
And on that note, sorry.
Yeah, you.
One of the things I hear a lot of people saying, especially in this market, because I still work, I still sell real estate. I still work with clients and buyers and sellers. And something I've said personally, throughout the years is, like the clients will say, I should have bought a year ago,
Yeah.
And I tell people in this market down here in South Florida, I say, you know what, I almost guarantee in a year from now, I'm going to be hearing people say the exact same thing. I should have bought a year ago. Because it's my job to remove the excuses to help you get what you want. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I look at my job in the marketplace. It's like, ultimately, people, when they're on their deathbed, they look back at their lives. They don't say, oh, I spent $10,000 or $50,000 more on that house I ended up absolutely loving. No, they just say, you remember that house that we loved? That's what they say.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want to hear people say that end up joining us in Real and joining our team, because we're a team together. And I want people to be like, you know what, I'm so glad I made that decision when I did, because it's been an amazing ride, and they look back and they don't think about, oh, it cost me $12,000 cap, and whatever other, like, no, like, stop thinking about that. Because ultimately, what do you want? We all want time and freedom, and we want to work with people that inspire us, and we want to be a part of a culture that's going to help people become the best versions of themselves, and like, that's what excites me. So I don't know. I just, I don't want people to look at this video and then they don't make a decision now, and they wait a year from now and they look back and be like, oh, the stock was at $3.50 and there was only 4,000 agents. And then a year from now, it's like, oh, there's 12,000 agents and stocks at like, $15. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but like you said, it's going to grow. It's going to happen. It's just who's coming with us.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, the one thing that popped in my head is, as soon as you said that, is, we hear all the time, we hear clients saying, man, I wish I should have bought, I wish I would have bought a year ago. And, this is going to be the same thing for agents. They're going to say, man, I wish I would have made that switch a year ago. So if you're an agent and you're on the fence, just look at it in that perspective. And I think it will kind of change how you look at things, right? I don't know about you guys, but I've got clients that literally I've kind of been working with for like 2 or 3 years, and they just never pull the trigger. They never jump in both feet. They never make that transition. And it just, I'm just like, it's just going to keep getting harder and harder to buy a house. And I think it's going to be that same thing for real estate agents. It can be a little bit uncomfortable to leave where you're at, or make that change. But if you're thinking about it, it's kind of like, it might be the right decision for you. And I'm not here to just say, hey, Real Broker is the right decision for every single person out there. But if you're thinking about it and you're exploring, different brokerages, then, maybe just making that jump is the thing to do, right? You made the jump to Southwest Florida, and so far it sounds like it's working out great. Business has been good. And that's something that, you never know what opportunities are going to come if you just put yourself out there a little bit.
Yeah. And, a quote that's coming to mind right now is most people tiptoe through life hoping they make it safely to death. Like life is lived on the edge, and yeah, it was crazy for me to make the decision to uproot my family from Indiana and move to Southwest Florida, where we literally only knew one person. And now we know a bunch of people. We have friends.
It was the guy you bought the RV from, huh?
No. He was actually from Miami. So he drove all the way to where we flew in, but
oh, nice.
Yeah. But, what was I going to say?
I've had on the edge.
Yeah. Well, and I have, to kind of go off the segue off what you were saying was, I have clients that I work with that if they're going to take 2 or 3 years, like, okay, fine. Like, let's stay in touch. And if we end up transacting together and I represent you, that's great. I'm going to work as hard as you let me. That's my motto. But I have a client right now that we got through inspection, right? And the seller was initially not going to address anything or not credit anything. Like, I know we're kind of getting into some of the mechanics of a transaction, but I was able to negotiate for him with the seller side and say, look, they're literally going to pay like $26,000 to fix all the things you want fixed to close the deal. And he told me over the phone, yeah, I just don't want to buy the home anymore. And it took a couple of weeks to get contractors out there and take all this time, and the seller, the listing agent, the lender, the contractors, myself, all this time and effort. And at the end of it, he said, yeah, no, I just don't want to do it. Yeah. So I fired the guy. I said, I'm not going to waste my time. Because for me, it's not about the commission. It's not about the money. It's about, I like to do a good job for people, and I like to go above and beyond and do what it takes to get it done. Like, that's how I roll. And I'm saying that to the audience, like whoever listening to this, that's doesn't know if they want to make a decision about Real or joining. Like, I want to say something about you, Cody. Like, whoever's listening to this, like Cody, I got an email. Cody's name was in the email, and I looked him up and I found him, and he's the reason I learned about Real. And I think the next day he called me right away. We had a great conversation, and I made a decision on the spot because I don't want to wait. I don't want to delay. When I see something good, that's when it's time to go after stuff, and then that's just how I like to make decisions. And it served me well so far, but he was there. And we've only known each other for probably even less than a week. And today is Tuesday or Wednesday, and we're already doing this call. And he's helping me, be successful already. And that's why I think he and I, are going to just do great things, because he is willing to do what it takes. And so am I. So if you're listening to this, you got 2 good guys here, and we're just 2. I mean, he told me about several other people that we're associated with and within Real, that their whole desire is to help you be successful, And so you have the support, you have the network, you have the people that are willing to step up and do what it takes to help you be successful. It's just, are you ready for that? Like, are you ready to make that type of commitment? Because I know that Cody's the kind of guy that if he would have reached out to me and I said, yeah, sure, I want to sign up. And I kind of waited, and then I finally signed up, and then he said, hey, you want to hop on a call and, do a video together or whatever? Like, what do you want to do? Like, and if I would like, yeah, I don't know, like, blah, 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 like he's willing to work as hard as I'm letting him. And I'm willing to work as hard as you guys let me. Like, that's how I think we both operate. So I just wanted to say thank you for that, man, because that's awesome.
Being in control of your business and making those decisions is one of the best things that you could ever do. I mean, as of lately, over the past maybe month and a half, I've been going through this personal practice of just trying to make fast decisions, for everything. Is it like, hey, I need to call that lead. I'm going to call him right now. I need to do this. I'm going to do that right now. I want to decide where I'm going to lunch. Great. I'm making a decision and I'm just sticking with it. And man, that's been like life-changing. That's really kind of a story for another day, but if you really want to change your life, figure out how to make quick decisions and just take action on it, and things will change extremely quick. So Mickey, it was awesome chatting with you. I really appreciate you coming on here today. I'm looking forward to see how many people watch this video, how many people eventually decide to jump on this crazy train with us and take this ride through life together. And hopefully we all see the success that we're looking for. I'm really excited about that. Anything you want to wrap up with?
I just we will see success. It's just a matter of, when and how. And I know that's how you're forward thinking, and that's how I'm forward thinking. I'm grateful for this opportunity to have done this call. And, again, whoever gets to see this video, reach out to Cody or myself directly. I mean, we're just want to serve. Great leaders are great servants. And that's, I know Cody, just from the short time I've known him, that's how he rolls. That's how he operates. And that's what I want to start to do. I want to start to pour into people and help people, inspire people, show people what to do, whatever it takes. And like you said, let's do it together, and let's all get in the boat and get our paddles and start paddling and see where we end up. And I know it's only going to be something good. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I'm going to add some additional information. If somebody wants to reach out to you, it'll be in the description box below. Why don't you share it on screen here as well, just in case somebody sees this on Facebook or something? How can people get in touch with you?
The best way to get in touch with me, my name's Mickey Russo, Mickey, like the mouse, but, or I like to say Mickey Mantle. So Mickey Russo, Russo, look me up on Facebook. You can hit me up on Messenger on Facebook. I'm on Instagram too, so you can hit me up there. The best way, I always check my business phone number, text or call 317-268-8005. I'm still repping the Indianapolis area code. But yeah, 317-268-8005. Call me anytime, or text me, and you can send me an email at mickey@mickeyrusso.com. So that's how you can get in touch with me. And yeah, I look forward to getting an opportunity to just even have a conversation. And so, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love it. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will catch you in the next one.